The reverse auction works like this. Each firm is set up with their initial bids for rates, and then they are asked to lower their prices based on what others submit. Instead of describing how much it will cost you to deliver a good, service, or product, the company determines how much you and others might price the service or product. Normally, the lowest bidder is awarded the contract, but not always. The company has to decide if the lowest bid can in fact deliver as promised. Exercise caution with this request method. Be careful not to underbid what you can deliver. Very often, the lowest bidder does not get the project. As a participant in the reverse auction, you will have some time to prepare. However, the auction itself could last a day up to a week, depending on the nature of the request. The reverse auction often reduces the time it takes to purchase goods and services. What is an RFQ? The request for quote is a price-based request. It is usually used by product-based services. It should be noted that sometimes the RFQ might be a request for qualifications. For this webinar, the RFQ is a request for quotes. The RFQ includes a brief description of services and the bottom line pricing associated with the service. With the RFQ, the response time frame differs from commodity and corporations. This sample RFQ is very brief and to the point. Notice that item 10 gives a very short turnaround, close of business. It is very clear that only those who can respond quickly to this request should do so. The bona fides of the potential supplier have already been established. The second of our keys to success is the bidding strategy. This section gives you tools to build the strategy that will help you to put the best foot forward in the bid process. When responding to a bid, there are many things the supplier must be prepared to address in order to provide the best possible response. In this section, we will cover some of the most common activities that may present themselves to a potential bidder. These activities will be discussed under 3 subtitles: bidding strategy, important dates, basic mechanics. There are 2 very important reasons for developing a bidding strategy. First, a bidding strategy helps you to understand your company's unique position and value. Second, a bidding strategy helps you to differentiate yourself from other bidders. How to develop a bid strategy. Here are a few pointers. Probably the most important thing to do is to read and understand the entire request. Make sure that you understand the resources needed to present a bid package. Ensure that you prepare any needed flexibility in your pricing that will support your bidding strategy. You may need to prepare for multiple pricing rounds or a best and final pricing request. If a presentation is required, make sure that you have compatible, trouble-free equipment and that your presentation is set and ready to go. If documents need to be attached to the bid package, make sure that you have the means to do so. Remember, throughout the bid process, communicate the value that your company adds to the bid. Finally, highlight your company's skills and the solutions that you bring to the bid. A number of considerations become part of a good bid strategy. Here we've highlighted a few. A good bid strategy will include these items. Make a note of important dates. Know When is the letter of intent due? Is there a bidders conference? Where and when? What are some of the questions raised in the RFP, and where do I find the answers? Most important, when is the deadline for submitting the bid? In preparation for the bid, there are 2 pointers. There are few of the basic mechanics to keep in mind. Bid documents usually follow a format. Understand that format and follow it. Whether you are submitting the RFP in the typical manner or whether it is electronically submitted, answers should be clear, concise, and to the point. The third key to success is to know as much as possible about the scope of work for your bid response. This final section helps you to understand the scope of work, what is involved, and terminology usually associated with the scope of work. What is a scope of work? A scope of work is a document that describes deliverables and services, including any requirements, specifications, or schedules of a bid request.